Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and the place to be for our Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about Monday Night Raw, June 17th, 2024, Pat Michael on commentary, and we're here. Oh, it's all starting tonight. Money in the Bank qualifying matches. We got Drew McIntyre, who's pissed. We got Chad Gable, who's pissed. We have the Wyatt Six. So S-I-K and the number 6. So we have them debuting tonight. How's it going to happen? Is it a beatdown? What is it? Are they going to end the show? We'll go right through it. Because the intro was a little bit hijacked by the Wyatt Six. So I was like, oh, okay. Are we getting it now? Get a Clash at the Castle recap. And we get Seth freaking Rollins. What? I wasn't imagining this. I didn't imagine to see Seth until like later on this year, but here he comes out, and here comes Damian Priest. And Damian Priest lays it out there. He's like, hey, man, I wanted to cash in on you and this and that. And Seth being Seth. And Damian's like, you know what? To prove it, me and you, Money in the Bank for the World Heavyweight Championship. I was like, what? And Seth's like, okay, you're on. And I'm like, oh, my God. We started off like this? Money in the Bank match? What? Like, at Money in the Bank, I mean? Oh, because Damian, he tells me, he's like, you don't need to worry about ladders. You don't need to worry about a briefcase. Me and you one-on-one at the pay-per-view. And I'm like, oh, sorry, PLE. I'm still getting used to that. Then Adam's backstage with Chad and Alpha Academy. Chad's begging for another shot at Sammy. And Adam's like, dude, how many opportunities have you had? And he goes, it's because of these idiots, you know. And I'm like waiting. I'm like, all right, it's tonight they break up. Then we go to Punk's going to be on SmackDown in Chicago. So that's a huge one right there. But Chad Gable does get a match out of his confrontation with Adam. And he's going to face Braun Strowman at a surprise. Chad Gable lost. But it was fun. It was being tossed around. And Chad was selling it the way Chad does. But yeah, afterwards, Chad calls everybody in the ring. He slapped Tozawa, pulls Maxine's crutch from her. I was like, damn, then slapped Tozawa. That's what made Otis go. And everyone was like, oh, shit. And Otis pushes Chad into the corner, and they walk out together, the three. And I'm like, damn. All right. And Chad's like, what's going on? I don't know. But, man, after he slapped Tozawa, Otis was not having it. So this is the storytelling we've been getting. Otis has finally snapped on Chad. We have the Judgment Day backstage. Dom's looking for a vest. We're like, where's my vest, man? My cow-printed vest. It's supposed to be here. And they're like, I don't know where it is. I know who has it. And then Carlito's like, oh, you probably left her at the hotel, you dirty dog. And he's like, hey, there was like, shut up, man. That's not good for him. Money in the Bank qualifying match. Io Sky versus Zelina Vega versus Kiana James. I really thought Kiana James was going to get the win here. But no, here comes Liv Morgan during the match. And to start something with Zelina Vega. Io Sky got the win on this one, which I was very happy about. So I'm very happy that Io Sky is in the Money in the Bank. I thought they were going to give it to Kiana James because that's the way I've noticed things especially when new NXT people come up, you know, kind of just showcase what they can do on the main roster for the fans and stuff like that. But I'm down with Io Sky being in the Money in the Bank. She's clearly hell-bent on making sure that Damage Control tries to stay, you know, relevant. Because there's even a backstage moment where she's with the rest of Damage Control, and we'll get to that in a second. But we have a Braun Breaker, and Ricochet package of what happened to him. Poor Samantha. Then we have Sami Zayn coming out and saying, like, hey, I'm moving on from Chad. Chad is done. Me and him, over. Here comes Braun Breaker. I was like, oh, okay. And Braun's like, I want that championship. And then here comes Sheamus. And I was like, oh, and Sammy's like, you know what? While we two bicker at each other, how about I go back there, talk to Adam, get a match between you two, and see who can face me for my Intercontinental Championship. And you know it's going to be a banger, bro. Good stuff. Dragon Lee promo package. Jackie's with Fire and Dawn, and they get interrupted by Zoe and Shayna, so you know there's going to be a match there. Dragon Lee versus Carlito. And he's got JD and Dom with him. Liv comes out. Zelina comes out to get Liv. You know, a lot going on, but Carlito got the win. Good stuff here. CM Punk, ref shirt footage. When he was in the back, I got to see it this weekend. He's like, I need a ref shirt. And gets a ref shirt and goes. Then we get a little bit of a tease of Uncle Howdy is here with his family. So then we go backstage with the Alpha Academy. And they tell Otis tells Chad, we're done. We're leaving. And they go. And I'm like, oh. Then Chad kind of has a moment where he's like, oh, you know, I will get into the Money in the Bank. I will win it, and I'll show Otis what he couldn't do when he won the Money in the Bank, and I will become world champion. And in the background, you can see a little bunny. Slowly but surely. Then we have Drew McIntyre. The moment me and my wife was waiting for, like, oh, he's going to lose it on the mic. He's going to go. But no. Drew McIntyre comes in. He's walking around. Looks like he's about to cry. And he's just like, you know what? Screw this. Screw this company. I quit. And he walks out. Adam comes out. They're trying to stop him. Then there's a moment when we come back from commercial, like, what's going on? Triple H tries to stop him, and Triple H pushes the camera away to make this seem more real. And to make it seem more real, Drew deleted all his social media accounts, like all of them. So what's going on? Is he going back to TNA? Is he, you know, what's happening here? But Drew McIntyre says, I quit. And it's a big deal because he just left. And meanwhile, I was like, what's going to happen there? Damn. We're living in the golden age of wrestling right now. Damage Control versus Carter and Chance. Carter and Chance got the win. Lyra is out there to help them. Then we have Damage Control backstage. This is what I was talking about earlier. And Eel's like, we got to change. We ruled SmackDown. Now we got to show that we can rule Raw. Something needs to change with all of us here. So she's a little mad. Sammy gets ringside because of Braun Breaker versus Sheamus is next. Talk about a banger, but ends in a DQ because of Ludwig. Ludwig Kaiser comes out and gets Sheamus. But after he's beating up Sheamus, he's got to do that really crazy run around the ring thing. But as he's running, Braun starts running, and talk about an interception because he just speared Ludwig's ass like, pow! Braun Breaker is scary. He is scary. Then we have Dominic and Liv, and he's like, hey, there's my vest. I want my vest back. And then she goes, okay, you want my vest? Take it off me then. And I'm like, man, we getting risque and spicy in here, are we? And as Dom's doing it, Davey walks around the corner, and me and my wife just start laughing because we're like, oh, shit. He's like, hey. And he tells Dominic, get back, get back to the locker room. Get, you know. And he tells Liv, like, hey, leave the poor kid alone. You're driving him crazy. And Liv's like, I don't know. Because, you know, she did send a tweet out saying, Happy Father's Day, Daddy. And I was like, oh. Karrion Kross backstage, promo, challenging the New Day, telling Xavier that he needs to leave Kofi in the dust because Kofi is always in the spotlight. And I was like, they ain't going to break up the New Day. Then they had the New Day respond. And Kofi kept interrupting Xavier, you know, and Xavier's like, oh. And Kofi's like, yeah, you want me? You want to say my name? You say my name. I'll face you next week. And Xavier looks at, kind of just gives that look like, hey, man, why are you getting, like, okay? And I was like, oh, so we could be breaking up the New Day? That'll be interesting. Now we go into our main event. Jey Uso, Money in the Bank qualifying match. Jey Uso versus Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor. Talk about one hell of a match. Then we get craziness like Dirty Dom comes out, JD comes out, Carlito comes out, and there's no DQ with a triple threat. And here comes Braun Breaker, and Braun Strowman, and I'm like, oh shit, this is getting crazy. But Jey Uso gets the win. He's with the Fireflies in the crowd, but we know what comes next. The lights. Oh my God. I was very skeptical about this whole Wyatt 6 thing. I am not the biggest Bray Wyatt fan, but I do respect the man. R.I.P. Much love. Gone too soon. I respected his ideas, and, you know, it was just a character I never was like, oh my God, I'm behind this so much, you know. I like it, the theatric stuff, you know, the Firefly Funhouse stuff and stuff like that, but sometimes when it needs to translate to the ring, you know, that's where I kind of like, you know. But I respect the Wyatt family. I respect all of it. So I was like, how are you going to pull this off and make this really fucking cool? I got to say, they landed it pretty fucking hard. Like, you know, I believe it's Nikki Cross that comes out through the door, and she gets up creepily with the lantern in front of her and just points, and the camera just slowly goes POV, going to the back, and everywhere, bodies, people destroyed, blood. It's a horror movie scene. Gorillas torn up, sparks everywhere. And, you know, we're getting introduced to these new characters, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, then we finally make it all the way to Uncle Howdy. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. We have a dead Chad Gable, you know, beat up in all the bodies and stuff like that. And I really want to rewatch this again and look around because, like, Triple H has been really, really good about keeping things in the background. And Uncle Howdy's been there, especially from the starting of the show. If you look over Seth's shoulder and stuff like that, he's there in the shadows. But now Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six are here. You know, so they come out, and it's eerie, it's spooky, it's everything that I didn't imagine it would be, and it came out, and I think they landed it straight, like, hard, with the hard H, man, and they looked great, and I'm just like, okay, now I want to see how this can translate, you know, from that to the ring. That's where my hiccup is, but this was a great introduction to the Wyatt Six, and, you know, and I noticed something. Uncle Howdy didn't walk through the door. Uncle Howdy walked around. I was like, oh, okay. And just says, we're here. You know. And I was like, Le Cinema? Mm-hmm. Le Cinema. Oh, good stuff, man. 5 out of 5 for this Raw. Money in the Bank, July 6th. And then Kanye West. I don't know why I have this in my notes. Kanye West shows up at a wrestling show in Japan. Yeah, because these guys know that wrestling's really fucking cool right now, so why not? But overall, great stuff. My match of the night, ooh, I have several. Io Sky, Zelina Vega, Kiana James is really fun. Braun Breaker versus Sheamus, and next to that is the main event, Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor. Great stuff, man, and welcome the Wyatt Six. I'm trying to see how to say that. Six. Well, they already got the merch, everything. They're rocking and rolling, and here we go for a wild ride. So, and who's the first victim? I believe it's Chad, but what does that mean? You know, we shall see. All right, y'all. Tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share it, grab a share with the bum down to Walmart. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get yourself that sweet nWp logo created by Penta X. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Well, screw this company. I quit.
What?